Well, then, that's a little bit intense of an article. I never thought that would happen. I mean, it's common for parents to put some pressure on their children to give them grandchildren, but this takes it to a whole different level. Mr. and Mrs. Prasad of India, they have really looked at this situation and said, you know what? It's so bad, we're going to go to court. To court over grandchildren. And they want more than $500,000 US. Lack of grandchildren, they say, is causing emotional distress. And they feel like all their generosity over their whole life towards their son, at this point, they deserve what they want, and what they want is grandchildren. And I guess we're finding out these days if it's even viable or not.
How much are they suing him for?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot, but around that $500,000 US mark. And apparently that's going to be the sweet spot for grandchildren. I guess grandchildren are worth $500,000.
Yeah, I don't know. How did they come to that number? I guess that's the question.
Whatever the lawyer said. But they did say, I believe, that if they have grandchildren within the next year, all that sort of money that they want is gone. Just have a child, any child. That's yours.
Wow.
And we will cancel this whole legal stuff.
I think this is the very definition of overbearing parents.
This sort of situation actually kind of reminded me of, well, soap operas, or what we may call these days just dramas or TV shows. But the soap opera feeling has a lot of drama behind it. So yeah, it made me think of Korean ones. And do you have any Korean soap operas that you enjoy these days? And why do you think Korean dramas are that popular?
I don't really like most Korean dramas or soap operas. Some every now and then are good. But I remember my wife used to watch one. It was called Heaven's Garden, I think. And it was like 50 or 60 episodes long. And it seemed like every episode something terrible was happening to somebody in the family. It was just like misery, misery, misery. Every episode, like kids falling down, hurting themselves, down a hill, breaking an arm, people losing jobs, no money. It was just like really miserable. And I was like, why are you watching this? It was just complete suffering for the thing. So that's my experience. Why are they popular? I don't know. People like drama? I don't know. What do you think?
As for their popularity, I think it's a new form. Well, at least for the West, I think it's a new format. We're used to the whole sitcom, 30 minutes, and even the dramas these days can be an hour. But if it's a drama, it's like Police or something serious. If it's a sitcom, it's only comedy. But with these Korean dramas, you get a unique filming style, you get unique stories, you get a unique culture, but also you have the serious thing behind it and the funny. Like I was watching one and it was hilarious because this girl has superpowers, but then she's stalked by like a rapist killer. So it's like, it's very light and funny and then suddenly super dark. And so it has
I remember that one.
Yeah.
That was a weird mix of storylines there.
It's just like, ha ha ha, gee, what is this? Yeah.
There was another one called Let's Eat, I think. And it was about a food blogger, but there was a weird storyline of a guy going around like attacking people.
Yeah.
I was like, why?
Just suddenly I'm like, food, and absolute disaster.
Yeah. So
what?
I don't know.
I remember watching that, and I have never, before pre-pandemic times, I had never ordered so much food all of a sudden. Because I'd be like, I want what he's having right now, go straight to the app and be like, here, deliver it right now.
See, that was a good aspect of that show, but then the weird stalking storyline, I was like, why do we need this? Like, we got the food, I don't know. Korean dramas are the long-suffering daughters-in-law, and they have the mother-in-law who's evil and just out to get them. So why is that such a common theme in these dramas?
Just off the top of my head, for one, around the world, mothers-in-law and fathers-in-law, parents-in-law in general are seen as these less than desired things or these difficult parts of marriage. But I think in the end, it's all about relating to the culture. And culturally, there are long-suffering daughters and hard to deal with mother-in-laws or mothers-in-law. It's a common theme. Everybody knows about it. And so it's good to put in dramas to have this, connection with real life.
I always have to remind Korean people that this is universal.
Yes.
They say, oh, it's a Korean thing. No, it's not.
No. Yeah, everyone hates their parents.
Everybody has a problem with their parents-in-law, usually.
Yeah.
This is universal.
It's very rare for people to not have, I wouldn't say rare, but it is on the more stereotypical side to have problems with in-laws, which makes sense. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of that vocabulary that was used in the article. We'll see you next time. Bye.
See you next time.
Soap opera.
Soap opera.
Folks.
Folks.
Stalled.
Stalled.
Lavishly.
Lavishly.
Magnanimously.
Magnanimously.